Leah Hahn with her parents, Marnie and Bo Hahn. Ariel O'Flaherty with her parents, Ashley O'Flaherty and Cody O'Flaherty. Addie Owen and her parents, Michelle and Jimmy Owen. And Kim Pullman with her parents, Steve and Jesse Pullman. And now to recognize our senior football players, offensive lineman and defensive lineman number 50, Derek Barr, with his mother, Melissa Noon. Wide receiver and safety number 14, Josh Heilman, with his parents, Jason and Jennifer Heilman. Offensive and defensive lineman number 63, LJ Johnson, with his parents, JJ and Brooke Johnson. Running back and linebacker number 22, Ethan Lewis, with his parents, Seth and Lindsay Lewis. Offensive and defensive lineman number 79, Mason Schaefer, with his parents, Amber and Sean Schaefer. And finally, running back and linebacker number 0, Caden Vogel, with his parents, Brittany Radford and Matt Vogel. Let's get one final round of applause for our class of 2026 senior football players and cheerleaders.
Tonight we are live at Upper Sandusky as we've hit the 9th week of high school football's irregular season. The home Rams are set to host their rivals from North Robinson, the Colonel Crawford Eagles. The Eagles are seeking to bounce back from a tough road loss to Carey, a loss that dropped Crawford out of the top spot in the N10. Upper is also looking to get back on track after falling to the conference's other second-place team, the Mohawk Warriors. Will Crawford claim victory in an effort to stay in the N10 race, or will Upper knock the Eagles out of contention for the conference crown? Answers are on the way. Pre-game coverage and the opening kickoff are coming up anywhere the internet can be found, and it is live and free on this Friday night.
When it comes to comfort, every degree matters. At Buckeye Horizon, we proudly install and maintain Trane heating and cooling systems built to last, engineered for performance. And with our expert service, your home stays comfortable year-round. No matter the season, we'll keep your system running at its best. Call Buckeye Horizon at 419-529-2738, your local Trane comfort specialist.
Farmall. 100 years of can-do. 100 years of milestones. 100 years of family. Generation after generation, its legacy lives on. The one for all since 1923.
Take a look at all the action from Friday Night Football right here in North Central Ohio with great analysis, highlights, coach interviews, and so much more every single Friday night right here on the OH Report.
Happy Halloween!
All right, glad you're with us for our Crest Federal Credit Union pregame show here on the OH Report. We are at Upper Sandusky, where the Rams are set to host the Colonel Crawford Eagles in week number 9 of our high school football season. Along with Scott Cameron, I am Kirk Richards, and we are so glad to be able to bring you this coverage tonight. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting situation because clearly Colonel Crawford, we know the team that they are, really strong team, and coming off of that tough loss at Carey, yeah, they're going to be motivated.
Absolutely. And by the way, another 9th beautiful week in a row. I mean, just awesome Friday night out here, beautiful weather and everything else. But yeah, Colonel Crawford, they really took one on the chin last week against Carey. And Carey is just a fantastic team. Losing the first 3 games of the year, everyone kind of threw them off the table. And here they are. They're going to be playing Mohawk for their title hopes tonight. But Crawford looks to get back on track tonight. And so Upper Sandusky, they got a little bit of an uphill battle, but they got a great returning backer who's also a great defender. And they have some great wideouts. And I'm hoping this will be a great game, Kirk.
Okay, so we're going to look to get right at it here. Yeah, so we're about ready to kick it off. We'll get some of those keys to victory and spotlights for you as we roll with it here.
Yep, and Upper won the toss and deferred to second half.
There you go. So Colonel Crawford gets it first. And here we go with Weithman, and he is a speedster, and he's got the moves, but doesn't get all that far right there as they're able to track down Parker Weithman. So yeah, we'll look at our spotlight for the Colonel Crawford Eagles here. Yeah, so we know Jake Bruner, 4th season head coach for the Eagles, 7-1 team, and still a shot for the conference crown, but they don't control their own path anymore. Carey does.
Correct, but they still have a lot to play for. There's a lot to run for when you're trying to get playoff, even a home game and all that stuff. So they have a lot to play for here these last couple weeks, and they're looking to try and get on track. That blip last week.
First and 10, 19-yard line, go to the ground to McMichael, and Connor, look at this. Connor McMichael,
look at that,
he is loose. And can they track him down?
Cut down.
Yes, finally from behind. He does get cut down by Kane Root, but Connor McMichael, he is that type of player, and that is already a first down for the Eagles.
Yeah, big 50-yard run right there. Just, it was just a simple belly, nothing fancy, but boy, that offensive line Crawford's got a lot of weapons on offense, enough to make a Don Coryell blush. There's a name for you.
Yes, some may have to look that up, but I am very familiar with Eric Coryell. All right, now they go to the air. Oh, and that one didn't complete.
Yeah, nice job by both corners going up high at the peak of the ball, and kind of a dangerous throw. He really floated that out there.
Second down.
Yeah, just seeing that. Yeah, he just did not lead it enough. Kind of got lucky, living another day.
Hey, exactly right. You'll take it.
And they got a 2-quarterback system with Baker in there right now.
Absolutely.
A little bit a la Stan Jackson, Joe Germain. There's another name.
You love taking it back.
What
What year is this? As Connor McMichael
right up the middle.
And, this is trouble for the Rams. And Connor McMichael, it appears that he has made it in to the end zone. No flags, a touchdown.
Yeah, just like that. He's that young man has 80 yards of rushing in the first minute. The middle of that line just not up to where it needs to be there. But here is the problem. Upper Sandusky runs a great 3-4 defense, but one of those weaknesses of a 3-4 is if you got a heavy run team, it can be exploited really quickly. So it'll be interesting to see what gets adjusted by Coach Hall.
Joseph Zisso. That's a broken play. He's good at kicking it, but
Nice job.
maybe not so much at that. So they're not able to get the